Hello viewers, I'm Snigdha Gupta from Guru Gyan online classes. If you are first time watching my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click on the bell button for regular updates and don't miss out any of the session. The poem Dust of Snow is a very short poem by Robert Frost. You can find that it is a very short poem, though it has a wider and deeper significance. The poem describes a very simple happening in very simple words. It tells us that sometimes even a small incident may prove to be of larger significance. This poem illustrates the extraordinary curative power of nature. The supremacy of nature made the poet Robert Frost realize that his problems are petty. So students, let us have a look at the title of the poem. The title is Dust of Snow. Dust implies small particles of snow. The poem consists of 2 stanzas. Each of these stanzas is made up of 4 lines. Thus, the entire poem consists of 8 lines in total. So let us proceed with the first stanza. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So, in this poem, the poet Robert Frost is talking about a winter's day when all the treetops were covered with snowflakes. The poet was walking under one such snow-covered tree. So, what was that tree? This tree was a hemlock tree. What is a hemlock tree? Remember, a hemlock tree is a tree which has white flowers on it. Moreover, this tree is usually associated with poison and toxicity, as a poison named hemlock is also made from it. Thus, we can assume that whenever there is an indication of hemlock tree, there is nothing positive in the air. So, we come to know in the first 2 lines that the poet was in a bad mood and he was walking by a tree known as the hemlock tree. So, as he was passing by that tree, a crow happens to throw some snowflakes on him. Snowflakes means a small piece of snow that falls from the sky. So, we have already seen that as the poet was in a bad mood, he made use of 2 symbols, such as a hemlock tree, which is a poisonous tree, as well as the crow, which is considered to be a bad woman. Now, the readers are left in doubt. What is the doubt? Let us see. The first doubt is whether the snowflakes has fallen on the head or shoulder or any parts of the body of the poet is not been mentioned specifically. The second doubt is the readers are left in doubt about the bird's specific action. Whether the crow was landing, shivering with cold, readjusting itself on the branch or taking off. It happened to send some particles of snow upon the author, which has also not been clearly specified. Here, in this first stanza, the poet has introduced us to the 2 agents of nature. The first one is the hemlock tree and the second one is the crow, which are considered to be signifiers of sadness and gloom, just like the poet's mood was in the opening scene of our poem. So let us now move to the second stanza. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So as we have already seen in the first stanza, there was no specific reason why the poet was not well or why the poet was in a sad state of mind. But the falling of snow on the poet lifted his mood instantly. Lifted his mood instantly means made him happy. Now he thought that he had already spent his day in a bad mood, but the rest of the day was saved by the crow and the hemlock tree. As we have already mentioned that hemlock tree and crow are used for negative references, but we can here witness how the poet Robert Frost has used them beautifully to portray that inauspicious things can bring joy and happiness too, and one must not take anything in his life for granted and should be open and accept whichever and whatever way the nature chooses to bless us all. Thus, we can sum up that the falling of the snow pieces instantly makes the poet happier. His day gets tones better. The supremacy of nature made the poet realize that his problems are very less compared to that of nature. The fact Robert Frost uses the hemlock combined with a combination with the crow being the indicator of doom and fear is utilized in the poem because the carrier of happiness within the lifetime of the narrator is ironical. The poet might use the references of other trees such as oak, maple, pine, or the references of other birds such as peacock, pigeon, but the question is, why did he make use of these two negative symbols in his poem? The answer is, the poet tried to spotlight that sometimes creatures linked with negative aspects of life often bring change and happiness. Being outdoors in nature with all its predictability can benefit anyone, anywhere, and at any time. Thus, the poet Robert Frost wants to give message to the readers about finding positivity in negative things. He tells us how his mood rejuvenates from hopelessness and boredom to a joyful and happy mood, which is clearly mentioned in the last two lines of his poem. And save some part of a day I had rued. Rued means held in regret. He ends the poem with the line that the falling of the dust of snow had delighted his mind, and the half of the day that was about to get wasted was saved by the crow and the hemlock tree.